Hello, this is Sandro Forte, and welcome once again to another insight into the Success Masterclass. I am really delighted to have with me a very special guest today, and he's special because of all of the participants in the Sandro Forte Success Masterclass. This individual has probably done more, certainly implemented more, and I think in many ways, for reasons we're about to understand, had a more continuous, fulfilling journey. Has certainly grabbed my attention in terms of where he started to where he is today. I'm going to say no more because there's a danger I will steal his thunder. But it gives me great pleasure to introduce Sergiu Hirtescu to you. And Serge heralds from Romania originally, but lives in Canada. He's looking very resplendent today in a suit and tie, which is rather putting me to shame. But you're about to find out why he's wearing a suit and a tie today. So, like all the others, Serge, this is live. So, if I mess up, please cover me. But welcome to this live broadcast. Thank you so much for finding the time to join us, because I know today is a very, very busy day for you. But let's start, I guess, the obvious place, Serge, if that's okay. Who are you? Where do you come from? And maybe a little bit for those tuning in today as to how we originally met.
Okay, great. Well, before I get started, of course, real privilege to be here with you today, Sandro. I couldn't have thought in my age right now, again, we're pretty similar in age, that I'd find another friend around the world, because you know that you figured out that you have your friends growing up. But it does happen that as you get older and you find like-minded people, that you connect. And I'm really, really happy to be here today. As you said, I'm from Romania. I am an immigrant to Canada, but I've been in Canada since 4 years old. And my story is like a lot of immigrant stories. My dad came with literally nothing from Romania because he jumped ship when it was back a communist country, hiding in trees, waiting for the boat to go away. And then that was the year that I was born, 1971. So he was in Canada, I was back home. 4 years it took for me to get to Canada with my mom. And we literally started with, in cockroach infested, rat infested places. As a child, you don't realize any of that. You just see the hard work that happens. And eventually my dad got us out of that. We got into middle class, and not ever upper class, but let's say upper middle class. And then I also saw him fritter it away. So my desire and my work ethic came from my parents. I've always worked, I've always moved forward, and I've never had the feeling that hard work was a bad thing. I always liked it. But now, taking the career that I got into, financial planning, I kind of fell into it, to tell you the truth. I've always wanted to have my own money. And then I realized when I got to getting married, I don't really know much about saving for the future. I've got someone else now to worry about, not just me. For me, it was before, I'll pick up any job and I'll make money, I'll spend it, I'm good. But as soon as you have someone else in your life and you're worried about that and thinking, well, how do I protect people around me that are close? So got into financial planning, really worked in a lot of different places until I landed at IG Wealth, where I'm at today. And that's where we met. We met at IG Wealth because you created a masterclass for us to attend to. I jumped on it because I'm always looking to learn, and it connected immediately. From the very first thing that you said, I just realized this is someone that I want to get to know and learn from. And then we obviously had the opportunity to meet in person in Canada, have some good times, and now we're here. So,
and I'm really grateful to you, because you have been not just one of the star participants in the masterclass, Serge, but also a great advocate for everything I'm trying to do to help other advisors around the world to realize their potential. And on the subject of potential, I think, I look today at someone who has always had bags of potential. If you don't mind me saying, probably didn't realize just how much he had. And we went from someone who I think it would be fair to say probably had a number of fears, a number of challenges that he had to overcome, to where you are today, which is, I think, one of the reasons I was really looking forward to speaking to you today. This isn't Masterclass isn't just about helping people to grow financially. Sometimes it's about helping them to find a direction in life. The whole person concept we hear talked about an awful lot, but very few people actually execute on that. But also kind of finding your own little niche in life. So let's let everyone into, not really a secret, but let's let everyone know why you're looking so lovely today. Super smart, dressed up. Just fast forward to the end, as in right now. Tell us what you're doing, and then we'll kind of backtrack and look at some of the component parts of the masterclass and what changed for you.
Okay. Well, I'm dressed up like this. Well, there's a couple of reasons. I always dress like this when I'm in front of people, and this is my I guess my uniform that I've grown up with over the years. But specifically today, I've created and produced an event tonight for about 20 affluent business owners, as well as accountants and lawyers, where it's just really came together as a unique thing that we put, where there's going to be a sommelier with some wine tasting. We're going to talk about really high-end concept ideas for business owners to help them to achieve a greater wealth or more tax efficient withdrawal patterns. Things that I wouldn't have thought about a year ago. Like a year ago, if you were talking to me, I was just, really without direction. And like any other financial advisor, not a financial professional, but financial advisor out there that was just, didn't know what to, like, I want to help you. I can help you, but not really sure how. And now today, a lot of hard work, a lot of coordination, and excited to show that, we've got something going tonight. And it's a third one, actually, that started about 2.5 months ago, where we had 80 people attending for another unique event, which was an expat seminar, like Canadians who want to live abroad. And all this came about because of the lessons I learned from Masterclass.
Mm. And I think on the subject there, I think one of the things that I recognized that you latched onto straight away, you've already alluded to it, Serge, and that was this mindset shift that I saw in you in particular very early on in the process. You said that you were eager to learn. There's lots of courses and books and speakers to study and to listen to. We accept all of that. And the fact that you just kind of dive right in, it was a process of trust initially. But one of the things that I felt that you really latched onto was this whole idea of shifting away from this, transactional, not quite sure how to connect with people, advise them. There was no lack of desire, but there was a mindset shift. Would that be fair to say?
100%. Like, you almost read my mind what I wanted to say next, because the masterclass is chock full of everything we already know. Like, there's so much there that it's so simple to understand and so difficult to implement. You've got the scripts, you've got things that you've given us that we can just take and make our own. This is great. The one thing I would say that somehow resonated this time around was that it's the mindset shift to a growth-oriented mindset. And it's one of the hardest things that I think it is to get across, because as you know, Sandro, you've said many times at the beginning of the masterclass, we've got X number, hundreds of people. I know that this many people are going to do this many people are going to do that. And it's a reality of life, meaning a lot of people are not going to actually move forward. Myself, I don't consider myself the smartest or the best practitioner. I think I've touched maybe the tip of the iceberg in the masterclass. And I feel that I still have a lot to learn. The reason this picture's behind me is actually because of the masterclass. I got introduced to Audrey through the masterclass. She's become my coach, and she helped me to figure out it's also not just about, going hard. You need to have an outlet, a release to re-energize and refocus. And my energy comes from photography. I've never realized that, even though I've got maybe 10,000 pictures over the past 10 years, that has been my outlet and my release. And she's helped me to figure that out, that, to have energy for my business, I should take time to go out and take pictures. Simple as that. This photo is from my neighborhood. I just love the way the bus is lined up. I took a picture, It's now become my banner on my YouTube page, and I put a little thing called Lessons Learned. So everything is about lessons learned. If you remember back when you were a kid and you're on that school bus that first time, and even now I think back and I feel like a little lump in my and nervousness in my stomach. This picture reminds me every day to try to learn something new that gives me butterflies in my stomach, so that there's a growth happening. And then slowly but surely moving forward, taking the little pieces of advice from all of your masterclass sessions and implementing daily. It will never be, in my opinion, nothing will ever get implemented daily until your mindset has changed, ever.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to be in that same rut.
I love the fact that this is the first time. Great thing about live streams like this is this has been thrown at me. I've not seen this photograph before, and I will say this, if I may, that the buses, to use your expression, lined up, are kind of like an analogy, Serge, for what we try to get everyone to learn on the masterclass. Which, as you said earlier, there's kind of no new ideas really, because if you come across new ideas 20 years into your career, the question obviously is, what have you been doing all this time? It's about unpacking and then lining up so that they form a kind of coherent process to get you from kind of A to B, and that's really what you speak about. When you, apart from mindset shift, what surprised you about masterclass, if anything? Are there any other tips that you would give to someone who is maybe thinking about masterclass in terms of, because as you say, it's not about being the smartest. I'm certainly not that. Don't have tons of certificates on walls, and we don't have to have tens of millions in the bank, but we have to have a very deep-rooted desire, to use the expression that you've heard me use on masterclass many times. How serious are you? And to your earlier point about the simple fact of the matter is, statistically, out of every 100 people that you have on something like masterclass, 50 are just going to do absolutely nothing. I mean, that's a fact of life, unfortunately, because if it were easy, if it didn't take any effort, then we'd all be doing it. We'd all be successful. World would be a very different place. And of the 25, of the 50 that are left, 25 will probably mess around with the ideas for a while, but then eventually revert to the old habits. It's the 25 that we look for in a group, and you're certainly one of those. So without laboring the point, to the earlier question, what about masterclass, apart from that mindset shift? Are there any other things that you can maybe offer to anyone listening, thinking, that sounds like something I might like to do, but what's the differentiator? How am I going to get value from masterclass? What would you say?
Well, the wealth of there's a couple of things. Thanks for asking that, Sandro. I'm going to start with the more logical one, which is basically all of the available resources forever. I mean, you've given it to us, and it's not copy and paste. You can definitely do that, but there's scripts, there's letters, there's ideas. And again, they're not like it's something earth-shatteringly new, but it's there for a resource. And I love that, because a lot of courses or things I've attended in the past gave you ideas on how to do it, but actually didn't give it to you to have. You just had to develop them yourself as well. So that's one thing. Now, the most important and the really surprising thing with masterclass for me was I found a bunch of people that thought like me, and like the support that you get from, let's say, the 25 people that continue, not the 100. Okay, they're still in the background. Like we're all at different places in our lives, and at one point everybody's going to click or not. But the people that are in that group now, I feel like I found a clique, a tribe, if you will, where if I put something out there, like I did last night, you saw on the WhatsApp, hey, I'm excited, tomorrow I'm doing this. It's just like applause and great. And there's never been really a negative attitude, like you like to say, the discouragement club. Like, it's, as solopreneurs or entrepreneurs, you need to have a lot of thick skin, and you need to have a lot of faith in yourself. But ultimately, if you don't have that support group and you're going to the office and you say something you want, it happened to me with a colleague a few months ago. When I said, I'm going to have a seminar here and this, and it's, oh, this is a terrible place. Oh, you should be doing it at the golf club. I'm like, well, and it picks at you and picks at you. Whereas with this masterclass, you have someone you can call and talk to, and they're going to give you good criticism or feedback, not negative. That's huge.
Yeah. I have to say, you talk about the WhatsApp group. One of the great wins for me in running masterclass. I mean, we've developed our own community. We stay in touch. I speak to people on a regular basis. It's really fascinating how you have the great divide between the have and the have-nots. But the haves, the one that are really serious about wanting to shift from where they were to where they want to get to, and then navigate all the stuff in the middle, which, as you know, I call interference. The stuff that gets in the way between an idea or a goal and an outcome. Those people are so committed, but we know we've all built amazing friendships, and I give you a lot of credit because you have led on pretty much every initiative, every action plan, every new idea. You've led it. You've definitely been the ringleader, and that's why there was no better person, in my opinion, Sergiu, to have on this live stream today, talking about your own experience. I really do appreciate it. I'd love to talk to you for hours, but you've got to go off and wow, 20 high net worth individuals and some colleagues in the professional world. So I'm going to thank you very much indeed for sharing this time with us. Any last comments, endorsements? I mean, I want everyone to know I haven't put Serge up to this. This is not the purpose. It's for the fence sitters, the ones that are not quite sure whether to join the masterclass or not. And we do have dates, of course, for next year now. Final comments, Serge? Anyone sort of sitting on the fence? What would you say to them?
Number one, don't think this is all about money. So if you want to make $100 million practice, that's great. This is for you. If you want to have a balanced lifestyle, this is for you. Sandro helped me to see that when he invited me to be part of a group, and I said, I don't belong in this group. These are like heavy hitters. And he reminded me that it's really about what's important to you. So if you are on the fence about the masterclass, I would say invest in it, because you'll learn a lot more than just financial planning and building a financial planning practice. You'll find what it takes to live a good, balanced life.
I love that. That's a really nice way to finish. Let's leave it there. Do give my best wishes to your lovely wife, who is absolutely charming and has been a real support to you. I know that's a very important part of the success process as well. But Serge, I'm not going to wish you better luck, because you've created all these great opportunities for yourself. It's just now a question of execution. So I hope it goes fantastically well tonight for you. And to all of those of you listening and tuning in today, thanks so much for joining us. Serge, look forward to our further interactions and to seeing all the good work that you're doing to change not just your own life, but the lives of others as well.
Thank you, Sandro.